Welcome to the ZoCo Podcast. This is Cody hosting for today. With me, I have Trevor. Say hello.
Hello.
And a guest voice.
What's up?
That is Kyle. Kyle is actually my brother. Kyle played the voice of Jack for Warrock Special Forces. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that today. So I had him come on to be able to, share his side of helping us record. So yeah, we're going to talk about Warrock Special Forces today and how that all started and where that all went.
And unfortunately, we're missing Alex today. He's out today, so we'll be kind of covering for him as well.
He missed a key podcast, actually. Alex was a huge part of this, but we'll fill in what we can for him, and next week he can come back to correct us on everything we messed up on. So Warrock, last week we talked about the start of Zombie Couch. Warrock Special Forces was a huge start to Zombie Couch, and it's a project that Alex and I started. Alex and I were starting a machinima, something that we wanted to do, and the platform we wanted to use was Warrock. The difficulty is, clearing the HUD on the screen and all that, and the acting, needing the people to be able to record on one game, and a lot of these things created problems for us. And I think that's where we invited Trevor to come and help.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that last week too, where, that's the first thing you texted me was, making a machinima. And that's actually where you guys were thinking about making Warrock Special Forces. And that's why we all got together in the first place.
Yep. And there was the 5 major characters, right?
Yep.
Rico, Shirley, Jack, Bryce, and Dawn.
Yep.
So we had to voice all these characters, and with only 2 of us, we definitely needed at least one more to get at least a third. Trevor has a deep enough voice to play a
black guy,
a large black man.
Yeah, which was funny enough why we decided me, because especially back then I was in choir, and I'm a bass usually, so I could speak a lot lower then. I can't speak as low now, but yeah, that's kind of why I ended up doing that. We even had to actually sometimes dub my voice a little bit lower, just because I still couldn't quite get that black man deep voice.
Yep. So we had Bryce, we had Rico, and we had Jerome.
Or Shirley.
But we had to fill in the other 2 characters, at least for the 5 main characters. And so I asked my brother if he would come along and record a few lines. You want to talk about your experience with recording for Jack?
kind of weird.
Kind of weird. Why was it weird?
You're not even looking at a moving screen and just trying to make a voice for something off a script.
It's kind of like what we're doing right now. We're just talking.
Yeah.
But definitely voice acting is hard. It's something that you have to kind of portray a voice that you're not actually seeing what it's doing. And that can potentially be difficult, but I would still say that Jack was the best voice character that we had.
Yeah, and all honestly, because originally I was going to do the cover for Jack, but that would have been me doing 2 different characters.
Yeah, I think we wanted to avoid that.
Yeah, we wanted to avoid that in the first place, but we didn't really have any choice at the time, so when we released the trailer, I did the voice, and yikes.
Yeah.
Learned how hard voice acting really was. That's when we actually got the idea to bring Kyle in.
I think the majority of the trailer is between you and I.
Yeah, that actually was just you and me.
And that I would agree it was difficult to I don't know, finally set in voices, try to re-record, and we probably had over 100 takes on one scene. There's like the last scene of the trailer where he says, get your dogs together. That entire scene, I think.
Well, I remember even before that, we were testing out like our voice acting. We were just literally like recording the characters, and we also had the Dawn, but we all pretty much just had our characters up on the screen, just kind of moving around, making them look like they were talking and everything, just testing out our voices with them, just kind of saying random stuff.
We definitely put Warrock through the ringer on tests and trying to get a lot of things cleared up for it. Because I think when we went through all the videos on YouTube about people who use Warrock for a machinima, no one was able to clear the screen.
Nope.
And everyone letterboxed it. And no matter what, even with those letterboxes, you would still see the fists. Because the fists every so often would animate. And there was no way to get rid of that. So Alex was actually the one who did probably most of the work on Warrock.
He had probably the biggest role in the whole thing.
He is the one who found out how to clear the screen and clear the HUD and all of that to give us a clear screen to record. To get rid of name tags over people, to get rid of tags over names and bases, all those different things. And so props to him for doing that, because it was something that nobody else was able to do.
Yeah. Well, he also had probably, best program skills as well. So, I mean, along with that, we also figured out how to take different shots, like the helicopter shots, and take all these panning shots and everything. He had all the programs and everything ready for that too, so it made recording a lot easier for that as well.
Yep, definitely. We were just kind of the helpers at the time.
Well, even then, like, I didn't have a computer I could really help out with editing or anything like that, because I'd actually taken a film editing course in high school at the time, so I knew how to edit, edit video and everything. Although I didn't have the program for that. Plus, I also had Macintosh. You guys had PC.
I remember I had my that red laptop and that brick of a laptop that was like 10 years old at the time.
The one I got to use.
And we only had that one as a character, as a stand-in. We just, because that was part of the problem with PCs, or not PC, as with Warrock, was you needed one computer for one character, and to get a shot that had 7 people in it, you had to have at least 7 computers, which we didn't always have it. And so we either got help from people who were involved in the game or people who were subscribed to us at the time, and computer editing to make more characters appear in a video. Did you help with anything else? Did you just play the voice?
I just did the voice and did my own thing after that.
Yep. The problem was we needed more than just the 5 voices as well. We had to get
We actually got your dad.
we got my dad to play a voice. We got a few other friends to play other voices as well. In episode 1 and episode 2,
Episode 3 was pretty much just the 4 of us.
Yeah, it was
5 of us.
pretty light on that one. And then there's episode 4.
Which I wasn't here for, so.
That's right. So you left with episode 3, right?
Yeah, well, because we had episode 4. I totally had it scripted out, because I was the one in charge of, like, really the scripting in it. And, you and I used to get together and really get together on what we should have in the episode itself. And I finished episode 4. It was completely done. That one was probably going to be the best episode, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But it never happened.
We had a good story lined up to go along with the actual story that was written, that Warrock, or Gamers First, had created. We were going to kind of follow those lines and keep going with what they had. But we definitely had a good story to write for 4. I think we had up to 6 planned at the time. Yeah, and we were just going to keep going. The problem was we couldn't all get together. We were struggling with recording. It was a difficult game to balance. Warrock has a thing where you have to have an equal amount of people on each side. Now, when you want to record all 5 people on one side, you have to have at least 4 or 5 people for the other side. So you've got our 5 crewmen of the team. You have the camera, which can play the other side. We would need at least 3 or 4 more people to play the other side.
Which luckily, we actually had a pretty good group of people that we could count on. We even we didn't actually like Skype or anything. What was it that we used? We even mic'd with them even sometimes just to help the communication better.
Yeah, I don't know what program we used, but
I can't remember what we used.
But the 2 guys from Switzerland, those were the guys that we definitely remember the most. I wish I remembered their names.
Yeah, if you remember episode 2, that was the episode of like the big battle and everything. That's where they were the biggest help to us.
They were in the right spot at the right time, and we didn't have to instruct them much.
But yeah, we told them basically, this is what we're doing, and let's do it.
And this was all over, just over the computer and don't even know who these people are, and they were helping. They did a fantastic job at being in the right place at the right time. So a lot of those shots were improved because of that.
Yeah, props to all y'all if you're listening.
So, yep. And sometime along after you left, we decided that it was too difficult to continue with Warrock. That's about the time we came across Minecraft, and we started playing a lot with that, and we learned that Minecraft was so much easier to use. If you wanted to clear the screen, it was a button. If you wanted to make a set, you could make it, things like that. And so Minecraft became a better handle to use. So that's what we were going to go with and start using Minecraft. I think that's about the time, because Alex left 6 months after you did.
Yeah.
And we had some stuff ready. We were filming some things, and for Minecraft Munchies, that's what we were going to call it. Yeah. And it didn't work. So once again, we dropped the ball.
Well, when I got back, we even had that's when we were coming up with Cliff and Eddie, or you guys came up with Cliff and Eddie, and I came in to help out, and Alex was still gone, and then you left.
Cliff and Eddie was something that Alex and I started working on, I think, while you were gone. But we wanted to actually have a good development. We didn't want just something that we came up with, in a month and then started recording something. We wanted to actually create create a whole backstory and create the actual forward story and get things in a hopper so that we had time, instead of this we're going to post a video whenever we post it. So we started working on that, and that's, I think, when Alex left for his mission. And that left me for another 18 months all by myself to do nothing, actually. I didn't have the skill set to record and to edit and to do all that stuff. So all I did was write. I wrote a bunch of stuff for Cliff and Eddie, and just general notes and things that we could possibly work on in the future, not knowing what the future was going to hold. I knew that in about 18 months, Trevor would come back and that we could start doing something again, but we would still be down one person.
Yeah.
But about the time you came back, because you came back in June, right?
Yeah, I came home for a little bit, and then I went up to school for a little bit.
Yeah, you were home for 5 months, maybe? You were home for a while.
4 months.
And about the time you came home was about the time I decided that I was going to go. And so I knew that we'd have at least a little bit of time. And then I left 6 months after you came home. And Alex came home shortly after that. So now we're all back. Well, I guess, even still, we've had to take some time because Alex has been away to school, but now he's back, but he could possibly leave. He's the one who's kind of up in the air right now. And we have all all projects that we're working on kind of individually. Alex is doing a lot of the tutorials and 3D editing or 3D printing, whatever that's called. And, I was in charge of the podcast. It's an idea that I had, and so I grabbed some mics together and got the group to record. So that's what we're doing. We also have some other plans. I have some plans of some videos to make. Alex has some ideas. I don't know, Trevor, do you have ideas?
I've got ideas. But I don't know. I mean, nothing's set in stone. We're going to have to look into more stuff. I just don't have time to think is my problem.
Yeah, I get that. Life is hectic.
Yeah.
Actually, Kyle and I work together. So I get to see Kyle on a regular basis. He's a grown-up man, married with kids.
2 kids.
How's the married life, Kyle?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Careful, she might listen to this.
I don't care. She'll stay.
She's not going anywhere.
Nope. She's stuck.
She's stuck for life.
She's got to put up with me the rest of her life.
Oh, that's tough. I had to do it for 21 years.
And you still have to.
Yeah, at least you go home. I'm still here. She's stuck with you.
Yeah, there's about, maybe 8 hours, 5 days a week.
Not even.
Monday through Friday.
I'm not even in the shop anymore.
Well, you're in the shop for half an hour before you leave.
And maybe a couple hours after.
And maybe a couple of hours. So, in total, about 3 hours every day you got to put up with me.
That's better than 24/7 for 21 years.
Yeah.
Get my head beat in.
What?
As kids, we fought a lot. What was it, high school? It was my freshman year. You were a senior.
Yep.
And I don't know. That's when things like really changed. And I was hanging out with your group of friends. They didn't care. Freshmen hanging out with the seniors.
No, our little group, everybody got along. Didn't matter how old you were, what your interests were. We clicked.
Yeah. And I
That's
think
perfect timing for you.
Yeah, and I think that's when we stopped like fighting as like, normal
We
siblings
stopped
do.
fighting, and I became more of like make sure you didn't get picked on.
Oh, and I didn't. I was
Oh,
known
no.
as Kyle's little brother. Well, I'm a big kid too, so
You became a big kid.
no one messed with me. But
Yeah. You were set after your freshman year.
yeah, and not all the group was seniors. There was a few juniors and sophomores, so I hung out with them until they graduated, and then I became the senior, which was like
And even a year
forever ago.
after I graduated, I somehow stuck around
Until you got married.
till I got married.
So our parents were empty nesters pretty quick. You got married in September. I left on my mission in December. And that was it.
Well, you left first.
September comes before December.
I was thinking child. Never mind.
Well, that's probably about it. It'll be a short one this week, but thank you for joining in on this podcast for the week. Stay tuned for more episodes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, YouTube/Zombie Couch. Check out our Facebook page, Facebook/Zombie Couch. And also Twitter and Instagram. Well, that's about it. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bazinga.
I love big fluffy bunnies. Twice.